Hey guys, welcome to my channel or welcome back. My name is Amber and I produce beauty related content, and today we are going to finish up my two-part video series on my favorite pre and post facial procedure tips. So if you haven't checked out my previous video focusing on my favorite pre-procedure tips, definitely check that out. I will try to include a link to that below, but today we are going to focus on everything post-procedure. You've had your procedure, you're home. What are the things that you can do in order to optimize your recovery and help you get the best results possible? So as I mentioned in my previous video, these are all of my personal tips that I have learned over time from my own experience, as well as talking to industry professionals, things I've read up online. So if you are interested in hearing more about those tips, stay tuned. So let's start first with diet. One of my biggest recommendations is to increase your water intake. Remember that hydrating yourself on the inside is only going to affect the outside. Following a moderate to a more intense procedure, you may not feel like eating. One of my biggest pieces of advice would be to consider smoothies. You can blend fruits, juices, supplements. You can add your own protein powder. Protein is so critical in wound healing. I advocate this to my post-open heart patients all the time. And definitely make sure that you're taking a multivitamin and multi-mineral supplement. Now, in terms of accessories, you're going to want to shield yourself from the sun. A wide-brimmed hat and sunglasses are absolutely key to protecting your face. And you'll also want to keep your hair back. Using cloth headbands and putting your hair back into a bun or a ponytail are going to keep it off of your face. In terms of sleeping, consider sleeping on a silk or a super soft cotton pillowcase. This is important as you don't want your face to be sticking to the pillowcase, such as if it were a satin pillowcase. You definitely want something that's soft and is not going to pull or stick to your skin. I have arthritis in my neck, so I typically sleep on a cervical pillow. I like this because it helps to keep my head aligned and it helps to keep me on my back. I'm not rolling over to my side or laying on my stomach, and this is also great post-procedure because you're going to want to stay off of your face. You may also want to consider increasing the number of pillows that you sleep on at night. By sleeping with your head more elevated, this is going to aid in decreasing the inflammation and swelling of your face. Some additional tips that I have to decrease swelling would be to consider the supplement Arnica. Arnica not only helps to decrease inflammation, but it also can help with post-procedure bruising. Now, ice packs are also a great thing to use in order to decrease not only swelling, but pain. I've used that after I had my upper lip injected, as well as after IPL. I will caution you and tell you though to wrap it in a soft cloth before applying it to your face. Now on to my favorite part, which is the skincare. Some advice that I have for you, regardless if you're post-procedure or not, are to wash your hands before you wash your face. Anything that you have on your hands is going to transfer to your face when you wash. As a nurse, I am such a stickler for washing my hands. I wash my hands all day at work, but also when I come home from work, I make sure to leave the germs at work and not transfer it to my face. And regardless if you work in healthcare or not, you're encountering a lot of germs throughout the day. So before you wash your face, consider an antibacterial or antimicrobial hand wash. This is just a chlorhexidine gluconate one that I picked up at CVS, but you can pick these up at any drugstore. Depending on the procedure that you've had, your face is much more open. So by washing your hands before you wash your face, you're going to limit your risk of breakouts and infection. Gentle cleansing after your procedure is so important. I cannot stress enough to really follow the advice of the provider. They may want you to initially use saline and a soft gauze to cleanse your skin for the first few days, but once you're ready to introduce cleanser, one of my favorites has been the Matcha Hemp Hydrating Cleanser by Crave. This is fantastic. It was one of my recent favorites. It's super gentle. It doesn't strip the skin. It cleans it, but it leaves it super hydrated. You want to look for things that are non-foaming, non-stripping. And in addition to that, no washcloths or no cleansing devices such as a Colorescience or a Foreo. Next up is moisturizer. Let's say that you have a more oily prone skin type, but after you have a procedure, you may find that your skin is a bit on the dry side, so you may need to add a few newer things to your skincare routine. The first few days after a procedure, I find that my skin is much drier and that I'm having to apply moisturizer throughout the day. This is one of the reasons why I typically don't wear makeup right away after a procedure. And depending on the type of procedure that you've had, your provider might suggest a more occlusive ointment to put on your face before you proceed on to a typical moisturizer. And regardless of what procedure you've had, SPF is so important. In the past, you might have used chemical sunscreens in your day-to-day skincare routine. However, your skin is more open now, and so you'll typically be advised to use a physical-only SPF. My favorite day-to-day sunscreen is the Paula's Choice Resist Super Light Daily Wrinkle Defense SPF 30. Now, while this is my typical go-to everyday SPF, a 30 may not be enough protection post-procedure. So you may need to look at adding an SPF 50, for example, in the immediate post-procedure phase as your skin is much more sensitive to the sun and needs that added protection. After the immediate post-procedure phase, you can start integrating some of your skincare back into your routine. One of the first things I was most excited to integrate back into my routine was a mist. And my favorite, if you have followed me for any length of time on Instagram, is the NIOD SDSM spray. This is so calming to my skin. I reach for it every morning, but I find it's most helpful when my skin is looking a bit red, if it's reactive. Maybe I've gone a little bit overboard with acids or retinol. This is fantastic. Another mist that I'm a big fan of, this is brand new from one of my favorite brands. This is the Jordan Samuel Skin Hydrate the Mist. Now, both of these mists, I typically don't apply like a standard mist. I will typically spray into my hand and then pat into the skin like an essence. I find that because my skin is much drier post-procedure, it just soaks up all of that added hydration. Another ingredient that I'm a huge fan of, not only day-to-day, but post-procedure, is copper. Copper has been getting a lot of talk about lately, and for good reason. It aids in wound healing as well as decreasing inflammation. And one of my favorites that I have gone back to time and time again is the NIOD Case Serum. This is the new 2-to-1 version that they recently came out with. I typically apply about 5 drops to my hands and then press into my skin like an essence. And I found by using some of those products that I'm able to heal much quicker than I typically have in the past, especially given my sensitive prone skin. So if you like the benefits of copper, but the delivery system of a mist, one of my favorite products is the IS Clinical Copper Firming Mist. Now I can probably do an entire video of the benefits of copper, so if you guys would like to hear more about that, definitely let me know in the comments below. One of my all-time favorite serums is the Paula's Choice Calm Redness Relief Repairing Serums. I picked this up a few years ago and I have been through maybe about 6 of these, so as you can tell, I am a fan. A few years ago, I had a severe allergic reaction and burn, and this helped me heal my skin. What I love most about this serum is that it has the best ingredients at a really great price point. It is super hydrating. It has hyaluronic acid as well as sodium hyaluronate. It also has soothing ingredients such as feverfew extract, sea whip extract, beta-glucan, licorice extract, as well as ceramides, cholesterol, and CoQ10. In addition to the serum, you may also want to consider sheet masks. Sheet masks are a great way to hydrate and soothe the skin, but the one thing I will caution you with is to look at the ingredients first. Some of the sheet masks that I have in my collection have brightening ingredients, vitamin C, different acids. You're gonna wanna stay away from those immediately after a procedure. Those can cause irritation to your skin and the opposite reaction that you want. A moisturizer that I'm a huge fan of, that I've been through about 3 or 4 containers of, I initially started using this after IPL, is the Replenix Enriched Nighttime Biotherapy. This is a brand that I don't think gets talked about enough, and I'm a huge fan. One of the biggest reasons I'm a fan is look at the packaging. This is my favorite type of packaging. It's in the airless pump jar, so you push this down and product comes through the top, and this keeps me from putting my fingers in this. It's keeping the actives in here fresher, longer. This is super rich, but it doesn't feel too heavy on the skin and has a ton of great moisturizing ingredients. So another ingredient that I want to focus on are growth factors. We've been hearing more and more about growth factors recently and the impact that they can have on your skin. Growth factors can be derived from human cells and synthesized in the lab. They can also be derived from you, and one example of that is the platelet-rich plasma that you often see accompany microneedling treatments, as well as some plants. Growth factors, either intra or post-procedure, are supposed to aid in decreasing your downtime and enhance your procedure. Now, the first product with growth factors that I was introduced to was sent to me by my good friend Hillary. This is the SkinMedica TNS Ceramide Treatment Cream. I really like this. It is super moisturizing but doesn't feel heavy at all on the skin. I've used this both morning as well as evening, and I first started using this after IPL treatments. SkinMedica uses growth factors in quite a bit of its skincare, and these are human derived. Now, a newer product to me is the Zoe Skin Health Essential Growth Factor Serum Plus. I recently started using this just after having microneedling treatments, and so far I've been pretty impressed with this. Now, the big difference between this this and the SkinMedica, this is plant-derived growth factors, whereas the SkinMedica is human, and this is more of a serum texture, whereas the SkinMedica is more of a moisturizer. I do feel like I need a little bit more time with this before I can give you my final thoughts, but I have enjoyed using this, and I found that after microneedling, my skin did bounce back pretty quickly. Now, there are other brands using growth factors. I know that Osmosis, Clinicians Complex, as well as PCA Skin are utilizing those in their products as well. Now that your skin is back to its pre-procedure state, you definitely want to be very thoughtful about the products that you're integrating back in and when. You don't want to dive headfirst into that, as your skin is going to be much more sensitive during this time. One example is vitamin C. Lately, I have been using the Skin Health Essential C Bright Serum 10% vitamin C. The vitamin C in this is an ascorbic acid, which might be too strong for my skin. What you might want to consider is a formulation such as tetrahexadecyl ascorbate in the Colleen Rothschild vitamin C treatment complex, for example. Using this for a period of time and then slowly integrating a product like this is going to help your skin ease back into vitamin C without a reaction. Now let's talk about acids. Acids are something that you definitely want to be cautious with as you integrate back into your routine. One product that I've enjoyed using over time as I've integrated acids back in is the NIOD non-acid acid precursor. This is super gentle, but it does offer some exfoliating properties to the skin and has caused no irritation. Another product that I've really enjoyed using is the Dr. Dennis Gross Alpha Beta Ultra Gentle Daily Peel. Let's say, for example, you were using the extra strength in this, but you don't want to jump right back into that, as that's probably going to be too strong for your skin. I believe Sephora sells these in like a 15-piece set, so you can pick up a set of these and use this as you kind of build up a tolerance and your skin gets used to using an acid again. Regarding retinols, it's important for you to have a conversation with your provider about when and how you can integrate these back into your routine. Whether you're using something over the counter or prescribed, you definitely want to have a plan in place. One of the things that I've used personally is to mix your retinol with a moisturizer so it's a little bit more diluted before you put on the face. You can also use a hydrating and soothing serum such as the Paula's Choice to put down on your skin prior to. Another product that you may want to integrate back into your routine is a chemical SPF. Now, while I prefer physical, I know a lot of you watching probably prefer a chemical sunscreen. My advice would be to apply a small amount to your jawline and neck to do a bit of a patch test and not immediately go in to apply it all over the face to make sure that you're not going to have a reaction first. Now, after a procedure, you may be swollen and red. And one of the first things that you're gonna probably ask your provider is, when can I wear makeup? Definitely listen to what they have to say and don't move things along too quickly, as you may regret it in the end. But what I have found pretty universal is that most recommend using a mineral foundation powder as you start using makeup in your routine. Most recently, I've been using the Laura Mercier mineral powder, and I've really enjoyed using this. I find that it provides a sheer to medium coverage and did a really good job of reducing my redness. I do believe that I was using the Bare Minerals Original Powder Foundation right after IPL. There's a ton of different mineral powder foundations on the market, so my suggestion would be to experiment around a little bit first before your procedure and then get something to have on hand. Now, a recent discovery of mine that I fell in love with after microneedling is from Colorescience, and it's the All Calm Clinical Redness Corrector SPF 50. So while this is SPF 50, you would have to apply quite a bit of this in order to get that level of protection. So what I do is apply this in addition to my daily SPF for added protection. Now, one of the things that I like most about this is the color. It does have a bit of a green tint to it, which I'll see if I can show you. Might be hard to see on here. And I find, not sure if you guys can see that, but it really does a great job of canceling out the redness that you might have. It has a super soft, silky texture. If you don't like that texture, because there is silicone in this, I don't think you'll like this, but I found this to be very soothing and calming to my skin, and makeup layered really nicely over this. Now, another product from Colorescience that I love, that I've been through quite a few of, are the Sun Forgettable Broad Spectrum SPF 50 Brush On Sunscreen. These are great. They're super travel friendly. Comes with a cap. You lift off this little protective area over the brush, and then you kind of apply to the skin. I'm not sure if you can see that powder picking up, and it allows you to reapply your sunscreen throughout the day. If you wear makeup on the daily, this will be your best friend. Now you'll want to talk to your provider about activity. Let them know the type of activities that you do, whether it be exercise or work. He or she may recommend you taking it easy for a number of days, as getting overheated or sweaty may compromise your results. Now regarding clothing, consider using button-down shirts for a number of days. If you're going to be putting anything over your head, it's going to be coming in contact with your face and potentially pulling at your skin. If you're going to be peeling, also consider light colored clothing, as if you wear dark colored clothing, the flakes from your skin are going to show up. Now on to the no-nos. Don't pick at your skin. I know from firsthand experience that this can be so tough. I remember back when I've had my first IPL treatment, I had areas of lifted hyperpigmentation up on my cheeks, and I felt like if I just kind of picked hard enough, I was going to be able to lift that. But you don't want to do that. That can cause irritation as well as post-inflammatory hyperpigmentation. Those dead skin cells on the surface are still attached to healthy skin cells. You want to allow the body's natural process to take effect. Picking at it is only going to compromise your results. Also, do not use anything abrasive or scrubby at your skin in order to accelerate the exfoliation process. Also, don't be in such a rush to dive back into makeup. Your skin is in a much more sensitive state, and anything that you put on it is that much more likely to cause a reaction. And my last piece of advice is by far the most important. If something doesn't feel right, contact the provider. You could be having an adverse reaction or a complication that he or she can walk you through. All right, guys, so that is it. Those are my favorite post-facial procedure tips. I hope that you guys enjoyed this video. And again, if you haven't seen my favorite pre-procedure tips, definitely check that out. If you'd like to see specific videos on skincare or procedures, definitely let me know in the comments below. If you're not already subscribed, consider subscribing. I'm coming out with new content at least weekly. Consider giving this a like if you enjoyed this video, as well as a comment below. I would love to have you back. And thank you so much for all of the love and support. It means more than you will ever know. So until next time, take care. Bye.